think that bullying is very subjective because some people might think that a little push or shove isn't considered bullying. And I think that defining what we think bullying is very important.
Especially in the Gen Z world, there are other forms of bullying that has evolved through the digitalisation.
The thing is, many schools say that they cannot tolerate bullying, but yet they don't do anything about it.
What is the bullying landscape like in Singapore right now, in your world? What has it been like?
I think bullying is caused when someone older or bigger, or someone who thinks they're more powerful than you, will start to antagonize you and victimize you because they think it's fun and entertaining. And they are also probably annoyed, so they just want to get back at you.
Have you ever seen this happen in your school or your classroom?
Yes, I have. In fact, there has been many cases in my school. In the Gen Z world, bullying is often occurring in many schools. Many schools say that they cannot tolerate bullying, but yet they don't do anything about it. And
Right.
I think that if they don't stop bullying in the next few years, maybe kids, even as young as 6 or 5 or 3, will start bullying one another. And schools may not be really safe for children anymore.
I think especially in the Gen Z world, those physical bullying, it definitely still exists, but there are other forms of bullying that has evolved through the digitalisation and through the more common use of Instagram, TikTok, this kind of technological and social media platforms. It makes bullying a bit more attractive in that sense because on social media, it's very hard to trace who the bullies are. They could just leave a random comment in someone's post and this could just build up and spiral. Through this kind of situations, it's actually very hard to track who the bully is. It's very hard to track who exactly started this chain of reactions. So I think in this way, it makes bullying on social media platforms, cyberbullying, something that is easier in that sense. And yeah, so I think that's one of the main things that has evolved in our generation.
One of the biggest things about what happens online is that we talk about anonymity. We talk about the fact that it probably is worldwide. On the cybersecurity space, a lot of times we talk a lot about what we term as operational security. I mean, this is a really complex term on its own, but it's really also about how you defend yourself against potential bullies. This is where it also balances between how public you want your social media accounts or your certain things to be. There's a lot of guidelines on social media platforms where you actually can report somebody who is actually harassing you, spamming you, all these kind of different things. So it allows you to actually have things that are already ready on the platform, because actually a lot of these platforms are regulated and have to do these things in order for them to stay profitable. I think this is also a question back to the youth today, right? For yourself, how do you feel about the fact that your sharing of posts can be immediately public today?
The fact that posts can be immediately public, I feel like it's your choice, because you can make your social media account private and stuff in order to stop just random people commenting on your post or what you're trying to express online. I also agree with those things where you say you can report comments, report posts that other people made on your post, or the other people replied to your comment on other posts. I feel like that's really something that's needed in everything, because it decreases cyberbullying a lot, because they know that there could be consequences.
I think that bullying is very subjective because some people might think that a little push or shove isn't considered bullying, while others might think so. And I think that defining what we think bullying is very important because if two people have different definitions of bullying, it can cause a problem, because someone might be like, it's just we're just joking, we're kidding, but someone might actually feel hurt. So I feel like the definition of bullying is really subjective. Yeah.
Can someone tell me what bullying is?
Being mean to someone or in any negative way.
Personally, I think physical violence is definitely a form of bullying.
I also feel like bullying can be mental in terms of like putting down someone else because of their looks or like what they do or what they like. I feel that sometimes bullies can do that because maybe they don't feel like or maybe they want to feel like they're superior to someone.
There's many forms of bullying like they mentioned, but then I think one thing that wasn't like really mentioned is that bullying could be a form where people express themselves, where like they want, let's say the victim is arrogant or they are like expressing themselves wrongly, and then the bully wants them to stop, and then they just like gang up against them.
You're saying that sometimes a person's behavior can cause someone to bully them because he's not behaving in a appropriate manner to what the whole class will like to see, and then they're just trying to ask him to stop. Tzang, you actually made a movie on Fairyvale, and his movie actually has a lot of bullying going on in it. You want to tell us about it?
I made this film called Fairyvale, and I think it's a film that's on Netflix. It's a coming-of-age film about teenagers, people who can't fit in, and how I noticed that in the world of young people today, right? Very often we see people with differing views being cast aside, and when they are cast aside, they are ostracized. People in positions of power, people in the cool kids or the state or the authoritative voice now has that power to say this is the view to have, and anything else is the other view. So that once somebody is cast aside, he becomes fair game and anyone can just pick on him. And it becomes a case of people picking on people just because they have views that are different from people. I would like to say that in the age right now, in the social media age where causes, ideology, activism, where it's happening as a good thing, can now become a very, very divisive thing because people with new ideas but are maybe not in sync with the preferred idea. Depending on who you have behind you and how many friends you have, it becomes a very, very volatile playground for bullying behavior.
This divisiveness, I think, ought to not be encouraged because in divisions, you really cut out somebody else's point of view without even considering it or giving it a good airing, answering and trying to argue or to bring up reasons. I think there must be logical reasons to it. And it's really, bullying I see is just a misuse of your power. They should exercise it with a lot more reflection before they do anything at all.
Well, Jazaree, we are here today because we all have the same shared concern. We want the rest of your schooling years to be better, that you feel safe, and even for our children tomorrow, that they can feel safe going to school. Because we all take bullying behaviors seriously. And if we all just stand by and just watch, and we're only talking about it, that's not enough. But if we all, as bystanders, when you're watching and what you're observing and all, we should have a shared concern and shared responsibility to say, hey, if one person is bullying another person, if 5 persons are listening, 5 persons can say, you know what, please, let's stop. Stop here. Or like, that's not nice. So it's something to think about as bystanders, what we can all do. And we all are bystanders today. And we all do have a shared concern and shared responsibility. Well, thank you, girls and boys, for your opinion. They were very valuable to us. And it's very enlightening to hear from you. And also from experts in this panel here. Now stay tuned for episode 2. And we will be talking about coping mechanism.